For thousands of years, Bible believers have expressed that God holds all things together. However, during that time, those same believers have been ridiculed by atheists and men of science, claiming that there is absolutely nothing that holds all things together, that nothing in nature fits that description. Hello, everybody. I'm Keith O'Dare, and welcome to Is It Science or Is It an Atheist Religious Belief? Well, Fritz Zwicky, a Swiss atheist scientist, in an effort to prove his Christian wife and the Bible that they were wrong about God holding all things together, he began to research for any proof to the contrary. However, Zwicky realized in his research that the galaxy clusters needed extra unseen mass to stay together. And much to his surprise, he realized that there was a force or matter that does have an influence on these galaxies. In 1933, Zwicky did propose to the science world that there was a matter that holds all things together, but in an effort to steer away from God, he called it dark matter. As expected, the scientific community rejected this dark matter theory that holds all things together. Why? Because it pointed to the supernatural, otherwise God. However, in the 1970s and 80s, American astronomer Vera Rubin proved its real existence by studying how stars move inside galaxies, and her work showed that a large halo of invisible mass surrounded all the galaxies. This made the whole science world finally accept dark matter as real. Even though accepted by science today, and they still have no idea what the matter is, they refuse to accept the possibility that the Bible has been correct all these years, that it is evidence of what the Bible has said was God all along. But that's not all. In 1988, two teams of scientists, the Supernova Cosmology Project and the High Z Supernova Search Team, discovered an invisible force that seems to hold all things together and manipulate universe expansion. To this day, they do not know what it is, but refuse to entertain the Bible's explanation that it is God. And they named it dark energy. For the record, science says, get a hold of this, dark matter acts like an invisible glue. It has mass and exerts an attractive gravitational pull holding galaxies and clusters together. It makes up about 27% of the universe. But they insist that it does not reflect the supernatural qualities of God, when in fact, it does. For the record, science also says that dark energy, against the second law of thermodynamics, acts like a cosmic accelerator. It creates a repulsive force that drives the accelerated expansion of the universe, and it makes up about 68% of the universe, but insists that it does not reflect the supernatural qualities of God, when in fact, it does. This is a great time to remind everybody that science, real science, not atheistic science, is supposed to look at all possibilities and come to a consensus, whether they like the consensus or not. However, because science is the mainframe of the atheist religion, they have refused to entertain supernatural sources such as God. This is also a great time to remind the atheists and men of science of the old adage, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's probably a duck. But atheists continue the religious mantra that there is no God. A funny sidebar to the duck adage, or duck test is what it's actually called in science, believe it or not, is a recent conversation with an atheist. He insisted that science does not use the duck test, which led me to actually ask Google, Meta, Grok, ChatGPT, and other AI if science uses the duck test. All the answers were the same, a resounding yes. What they said, in short, is science uses the duck test as pragmatic, evidence-based shortcut to recognize when multiple traits align with a known category, prompting further study and classification, otherwise known as abductive reasoning. So bottom line, atheism or atheistic science, their number one trait is abandoning abductive reasoning. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, shalom.